right, this is right here is a little different video, but all right. So in the Bible, uh, and don't take it, like word for word. I'm trying to put it in context so that you understand it, and I'm just paraphrasing from my knowledge, but it's not exact word for word. So there was a guy named Samuel, right? And Samuel, he was very close to the Lord, and Samuel was told by the Lord that he needed to go to talk to Jesse because he wanted to get a king for, I believe it was Israel. But so Samuel went to Jesse, and Jesse had 7 boys. And the Lord said, choose one of Jesse's boys to be the king. And so Samuel went and he talked to Jesse. He said, where are your kids at, your boys? So Jesse brought them out one by one. And mind you, Jesse's boys were big, tall, stock. Exactly, what would you call good looking, you would say nowadays, right? So he brought all 7 of them out. And Samuel said, no, the Lord ain't said neither one of these are king. So he said, you got any more children? He said, yeah, I got a little boy named David. He's out in the field tending to the sheep. He say, okay, we will stand here until you go get him. So Samuel stood there, and his dad went out to the field and got David. And now when David came in, he was complete opposite his brothers. 5'5", short. And soon as Samuel seen him, he say, David is the chosen one. He's gonna be the new leader. And just off that first part, people, they choose people by the way they look, or they choose people by the way they dress, or their personality. That's how we choose whether we like somebody. But God, he chose David because of the heart. David was not the ideal looking supervisor or manager or whatever they supposed to look like, but God chose David. David was a short, small guy, petite, and he became the new leader. So David went, and he started working for a guy named Saul. Saul was the king of Israel, and Saul was a king. And Saul had David, and Saul had to go to battle one time, right? So when Saul guys got ready to go to battle, they was about to battle Goliath. I know you heard that story, David and Goliath. So when Saul sent his guys out, they were all scared of Goliath. Goliath was huge, big, right? So David went out there. He seen Goliath. He went back and told Saul. He said, I'll fight Goliath. And Saul, he said, are you sure? I don't think you prepared for that. And David told him, the Lord is with me, and the Lord has helped me fight helped me fight tigers and bears and remove them out of their mouth before. So I know I can handle Goliath. He's not a tiger or a bear. So Saul said, all right. So Saul took off all his gear, gave it to David, and he had all this armor on. He had a sword. He had everything a knight would need to go to fight, right? And David started walking around. He like trying to move like he was in a fight. But David said, I can't go to battle like that, because when I was fighting before, all I had was a rock, a slingshot, and a little small garment on, and that's all he wanted. So David got his slingshot, got his rock, and he went out there to Goliath. And when he got out there, he pulled it back. And when he pulled it back, boom, the rock went boom, and he fell right back on his head. And once Goliath fell on his head, cut his head off, and he brought it back to Saul. And Saul was just amazed at how powerful little David was. So from that day on, Saul said, David, you're gonna be my armor bearer. Armor bearer is like a personal bodyguard. And every time Saul sent David to battle, David never left anything alive. I mean, sheep, dog, children, cat, everything must die. That was David's rule when he went to battle. Leave nothing alive. So Saul liked that, right? He really loved that. So next thing you know, Saul started to actually get jealous of David, because all his people were starting to take a light. Even Saul's son, Jonathan, was starting to like David. And Saul's daughter, can't think of her name right now. I think Michelle, she liked it David too. So all of a sudden, this hate built up in Saul, and he put a plan out to kill his armor bearer David. And Jonathan, his son, went and told David that my dad plans to kill you in daylight break in the morning. And David was confused. He was like, "Why do your dad want to kill me? I didn't do anything wrong." And Jonathan like, let me see, let me go talk to him and see if I can change his mind. So he said, wait out here in the field. If I talk to him and he changed his mind, you're safe to come back. If not, I'm gonna let you know you gotta go. So that's when David went and he asked his dad. He said, Dad, Jonathan asked his dad, Saul, he said, David hasn't done anything wrong. Why are you trying to kill him? What are you gonna kill him for? And Saul, he was just pretty much, he actually was scared of David, and he knew David had the Lord with him. So he didn't really, he didn't understand why the Lord was with David and the Lord wasn't with him like he used to be. So he didn't change his mind, and Jonathan went back and told David, my dad gonna kill you in the morning. So David, he went to his wife, which was Saul's daughter, and he said, and his daughter even said, hey, you gotta go because my dad gonna kill you in the morning. So David jumped out the window and he took off for the mountains and the woods. And his wife, which was Saul's daughter, she put a idol in the bed and put some fake hair in the bed. So when the bodyguards for his Saul came to get David, she said, he's sick. He's sickly right now. It's snowing bad. And as he was sick, right? He said he's sick right now. So they left. And Saul said, no, go back and get him because I want him. So when they came back and they went to get Saul, get David, David was already gone, and they lift up the sheets and seen that she had pretty much put a fake body in the bed, and David was no longer there. So he was mad with his daughter, and he was like, why would you let my enemy get away? And she didn't understand either. Why are you trying to kill David? He done nothing wrong to you. So from then on, Saul was chasing David relentless, because he still wanted David dead. So every city David would settle in, Saul would send his men, even 8,000, 10,000 men after David, and David would get word of it and he would move. So he's a mover. He called David a mover. He kept moving. He never was able to just stay in one place at a time, right? So eventually they found out, Saul found out David was in a cave up in the mountains, and Saul said, this time I'm coming. And Saul went with his guys, and they went to the cave, and they were in there looking for David, but they ended up getting tired, so they're like, all right, we're gonna just stay here for the night, not knowing that David and about 400 of his men were deep in that cave. So when Saul and his guys went to sleep, David soldiers and his 40 guys, they was like, the Lord has delivered your enemy in your hands. It's time to go ahead and end them. So David thought about it, and I'm just want to give you a point of note. David, God said kill him, but David instead, he went up to Saul while Saul was asleep, and he just cut off a piece of his garment. So imagine you sleep and somebody just cut off a piece of your shirt and then wake you up. And when you wake up, when he woke Saul up, he had that garment in his hand. He said, I could have killed you, Saul, and you see, you're not my enemy because I didn't kill you. And Saul was he was relieved because David didn't kill him, because he could have killed him, because David was a bad man. So Saul went up out the cave, and David said, why are you chasing me? Why are you chasing me? Let the Lord decide right now between, if I have done something wrong, let it be known. And Saul, he admitted, he said, you've done nothing wrong. I'm not going to chase you anymore. I'm not going to chase you anymore. And I'm sorry. I hope you forgive me. So David was relieved, and Saul went back home. So now at this point, David's starting to build, because he's not on the run no more. So as he's starting to build and get his team up, and all of a sudden, Saul, a second attempt, tries to go after David. And this time he went and he was chasing Saul. He found out where David was living at, and Saul and his guys went. And they were resting while they reached the town where David was at. So they were resting while they were there. And Saul, when he slept, he put the sword in the ground right beside his head, and he put his helmet right beside the sword. And then all his bodyguards slept around Saul. Saul was the king. His bodyguards slept around him. And David found word that the guys were in town, and he said, he went to his 400 guy. He said, which one of y'all want to come with me to kill Saul or get Saul? So the one guy, he said, I'll come with you, David. So they went, and they were standing at the top of the mountains, and Saul and them guys was down at the bottom. And David said, he seen them down there, and Saul, his buddy was like, hey, David, I will get him, I will kill him this time. They're asleep. I'll do it. You don't have to do it. And David said, once again, this is a human thing. When you're the chosen one, you have to understand and listen to God and listen to the Holy Spirit, because every time his guys told him to kill Saul, but David said, no, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sneak in there, and we're gonna take his sword and his helmet, so that when he wake up, he can know that I've been in there and I could have killed him a second time. So he went in there, and they got the sword, they got the helmet. And when he got back up in the woods, he yelled, Saul, Saul. Saul wakes up. He says, is that David's voice? He recognized his voice. Look around, look for your sword, look for your helmet. Your guys, they're not protecting you. I've been in your camp while all of y'all were asleep, and I took it, and I could have ended you again. Why are you chasing me? That's what David yelled out. And Saul was, once again, he was upset, because how did all my bodyguards let him come in here while we were asleep, and he didn't harm none of us, and he let me live again? So at this point, Saul was the same way. He was merciful. He said, I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? I'm not gonna chase you no more. And at that point, that's when David, he went on, he left. Saul went back, and David went on. He was running that was a long time between that time period. He was on the run from Saul, but Saul ended up, he tried to go to do witchcraft and figure out why the Lord had left him, because the Lord was with David, and he knew that, and that's what his biggest jealousy was. He knew as long as the Lord was with David, he could not defeat David. So the moral of the story, because I'm gonna wrap it up, but David never listened to human. He listened to the Lord, and he did exactly what the Lord told him to do. And in order to do that, all you have to do is spend time in the Bible praying, and just so you can hear when God talking. Like it's quiet right now. You just go in a room or closet, anything, and you listen. God will tell you what you need to do in your life. If you need to be around that person, or you need to do anything. So just take that from David, and you can't always listen to the people around you, because they might not hear what the God's telling you to do. And David never killed Saul, because David knew Saul was anointed by God, by the Lord. So you don't kill anything that God got control of, because you let the Lord deal with it. So that's part one, and maybe I can put out part two. It's snowing here, so I ain't been working today, so I figured I would put this video out. But I try to finish up and put another part two to let you hear how David continued to become the man he became. All right, peace.